Yo, what's happening, people? And welcome back to the Tiki Taka podcast, where you're going to hear hot takes, unbiased opinions, and hopefully have a couple laughs along the way. And I was hoping I wouldn't have to say this for at least a couple more weeks, but Arsenal have their first loss of the season. And it came away at Bournemouth. And that's what anyone tuning into this podcast is going to be here to listen to. I remember when we lost our first game last season at Newcastle. The views were up. Guys were here.
Yeah.
So I was almost thinking when Michael had a busy weekend, we couldn't record on Monday. I was almost thinking maybe we just skip this one.
No.
but I know the people want. That's why they're here. That's why they're here.
We gotta be consistent.
Exactly. No, but I thought maybe we record like a different episode in the arc and we put that one out or whatever. But I know people are here for this. So we'll get into it. And Arsenal, eventually, they paid a price for playing with 10 men.
Exactly.
When Saliba got sent off, I think it was at half time or maybe 10 minutes into the second half, I just kind of thought, like, we can't keep getting away with it. Like the Brighton game, we kind of got away with it. We got out of a point. The City game, we kind of got away with it, got out of a point. I was like, it's unsustainable. At some point, we're going to be punished for it.
That is how I look at it, man. And I feel... I spoke to you off air, I spoke to many people off air, or I've said it on here, like, I'm watching our loss column with a hawkeye because I know what it takes. If we really want to achieve what we want to achieve, we only have like 2 more losses in us this season.
Yep.
And I thought, in many ways, this is a cheap way to give away a loss, because I thought if we was going to get a loss this early into the season, or it was because a Liverpool or a City or whoever came, tough fought game, and they edged it, type of thing. Like, you want to like lose it in a very...
But that would almost be worse.
If it
was Liverpool or City.
It would feel worse, 100%. But that's how I thought, like, we would be losing potential at this stage of the season. But I agree with your point entirely. Like, we were riding our luck too much. Yeah. And when I saw the timing of the red card, like, first 30 minutes... I was like, oh, this... like,
it's not even like we're 1-0 up.
Exactly. I was just like, we're asking... First of all, I was disappointed because it was just going to have to be another, just not a good game of football.
Yeah.
I want to see 11 versus 11. I want to see patterns of play.
And we weren't great before that.
No, we weren't.
But yeah, I was sat there watching it thinking like, yeah, we'll win this game.
Yeah.
Like 11v11, I was like, yeah, we're not playing well, but I was never really like worried that Bournemouth were going to do something.
I was interested to see certain things. I was interested to see if Raheem could step up into Saka's shadow, do what we've brought you in for on loan and stuff. And then after half an hour, the game's kind of...
it was unfortunate for him because he had to be sacrificed. And he had some nice moments.
Yeah.
I think that game and almost yesterday's game as well against Shakhtar, but specifically the Premier League game, shows us, and I've said this before, the Arsenal attack is scary without Saka. It is. It's worrying, like, because like I said, even when we were 11v11, I thought, somehow, some way we'll find a way to win this game, but it wasn't the same. Even in yesterday's game, it was the same thing. I know Jesus played on the right yesterday, but I just think this attack is too kind of predictable or somewhat easy to play against when Saka's not in the team.
I agree with that 100%. Saka's almost decisive forward. He's almost, if we're going to win games, it's going to be him. But I also think we miss Odegaard. Not equally as much, but almost just as much. Because when you're down to 10 men...
in a different way.
When you're down to 10 men and we're looking to just recycle the ball and keep pressure on them and step on their necks and stuff, like, what pissed me off about this Bournemouth game was no one could keep hold of the ball. Like, we couldn't string together 4 or 5 passes at all. Before 10 men and definitely after 10 men. It was just bouncing off people. Somebody would take a touch, try and get Martinelli in behind long. Somebody would try and get Havertz long. Havertz knocks it down. The other person
Havertz had a suicide shift in that game. It's just feeding off scraps.
I am just dying for somebody to put their foot on the ball. Yeah, and shuffle it around a bit. Make Bournemouth, like, at least let them know that we're a team that has quality and we can put them on the back foot.
Yeah.
And but then again, that's what Odegaard does. Saka puts the ball in the back of the net.
I think we're missing both of them. They're both important players for sure. I just think with the games that, like, Odegaard's, I think I was looking at it the other day, I think he's been out for almost 8 weeks now.
And this is another thing.
But he's been out and
we've still done well. We've had a lot
Tottenham
of goals
away,
and assists.
City away,
Saka's
PSG
done
at
the
home.
things.
Very like tough games. I can't remember if Odegaard played at Atlanta away. I don't think he did. But tough games, and we've still been able to kind of. We're not fluid. We're not at our best because Odegaard's central to that. But we get out with wins or draws because Saka's done something, got a goal or an assist, or done something out of somewhere. Now, this game without him, obviously we were missing both of them, but without Saka, I think if you need to see Saka's impact on that Arsenal team, it's there. For that 90 minutes or whatever. Even the first 30 with 11 shows it.
Yeah, he's still our most decisive player, regardless. We're gonna miss them. Literally, I think Jesus and Sterling and all these other guys and all these other combinations won't ever be as good as Saka and Odegaard, and Saka with whoever and Odegaard with whoever. They're literally what make us tick up there. They're literally what get us the goals, and it was frustrating. It was a frustrating loss, but I do think we, as you said, we rolled our luck. I could almost take it on the chin, not easily, but like you know, it didn't affect me as much because of like we have been riding our luck, and this has to also be the whole. This is where it stops. I like Arteta coming out and saying no more red cards. This is it.
And he said that at this level you can't play for 60 minutes with 10 men.
Yeah,
and it's right because Bournemouth are a decent team, right? Iriola has them set up right, and they deserve their praise and whatnot. But that's why yesterday when Arteta sub Ben White at halftime, that was arguably the biggest cheer I gave all game because it's like, cool, Arteta's learning. I'm not even going to trust some of these guys to play on a yellow card right now.
We can't do another 45 minutes with down to 10.
And even Arteta spoke about how tired the team were in the second half yesterday against Shakhtar after having to play 60 minutes with 10 men on the 3 days before or whatever. But I think overall, it's not too much of a, like you say, it's not too much of a worry or anything. Like, it needs to stop now, and this should be the catalyst for that. But when I look at the table and I look at what Arsenal have done, we've dropped points in 3 games.
Yeah.
And in all 3 games, we had 10 men. So it's very obvious to see where what's going wrong.
I was also just thinking this as well, in the sense of like, I'm not listening too much to like the crisis talk.
Yeah.
That, you know, some people are like trying to put out there. Obviously, you see online, whatever. But like, we've only dropped points in 3 games. This is our second loss of the year. Yeah. And
I'd almost forgotten what it felt like to lose. You know?
I was also just thinking, like, compared to, and it's easy to say this now because obviously we haven't played Liverpool. We'll see what happens. But compared to the slumps or the downturns of last year and the season before, if it stops now, calm.
Yeah,
it's not one of those one where we've slid, we've lost 3 games in a row. We've dropped points 3 weeks in a row, like we've seen these teams do. Yeah. If it's a little like red card, drop point, lose a game at the beginning of the season. All right, man. You know how City have been doing in the past.
Yeah.
This is the time to do it. This is the time to end it.
If City lose one, they win the next 10.
We have to go on the run.
100%.
We have to go on the run to make up for this stuff. But also, I'm just happy it's this side of the season, as well as not trying to get carried away with we've done well. We've done very well to get to this point. But it was frustrating. Also, man, I don't know what to say about some of the injuries, like to Odegaard, to some of these players. Like when Odegaard rolled his ankle or wherever it was in the international week, I was like, he might be back. For
the North London
stuff. And that's, as you say, that's like 6-7 weeks ago, man.
It's been a long time. There's been an international break in between.
I'm like, we're kudos to Arteta for keeping us afloat, keeping us in a competitive position. And we can't really be the club fans will say, because we had a lot of guys fit last year, we can't do the injuries thing, and I'm not here to do the injuries thing, but I just want to get some of our footballers back. And keep them fit.
It doesn't help that players are contributing to that list of absentees by getting sent off.
Yeah. I guess it compounds itself.
I'm 100% with you on the injuries, but then if we had Saliba on the weekend, that would be a big plus. That even if we were missing Odegaard and maybe Saka's back and whatever, we might be all right. But now the potential of missing Saliba, Odegaard, and Saka for a game at home against Liverpool is
nuts. Also, Saliba's first red card couldn't have come at a more like unopportune time. Why didn't we have?
And when I was editing last week's pod, you'd just given Van Dijk a rookie for getting sent off.
Yeah.
Big games, and you killed Van Dijk for it.
No, Saliba will get a rookie of the week. Also,
I think Saliba doesn't need to make that tackle because I think he can catch Evan Nilsson. But I think it's more Trossard's fault. I actually put more blame on Trossard.
The only reason I'd say Saliba gets is just for the result. It's not even as I say. I don't think what he's done is egregious. I think it's I can see the red, but I think it's harsh.
I don't even know who Trossard's trying to pass to. And Trossard put Saliba in a situation where now he's just got to react, and Evan Nilsson is that side of him. Because Saliba's, I can't even say Saliba should be deeper because he's playing Evan Nilsson offside. Yeah, he's on the right line. There's really not much, but Saliba in that moment, and it is just instinct and whatever, so it's tough. But just leave him and chase him or trust right.
I actually think the ref got it right with the yellow card first time round.
But look, I mean, I can see why.
I can see why. I'm not saying
and. I've said this before, like Arsenal, they just kind of give, in the worst case scenario,
they give a referee a decision.
Saliba leaves Evan Nilsson goes through and scores. 1-0 Bournemouth.
We take that.
60 minutes left.
Yeah.
For us to
turn this around.
11v11. Like, I think it's just, I can't kill him too much because it's an instinctual thing, but Trossard didn't have a good game yesterday either.
We know Trossard's role.
Yeah.
We know Trossard's role.
12th man. filling the gap where necessary.
I do want to say though, obviously we've spoken a lot about how poor things were, Trossard's mistake. I thought Gabriel played well, like afterwards with the captain's armband when it looked good on him.
When does he not?
Yeah, no, it's true.
When does he not play well?
It's true. But in particular, there was like, I don't know, there's just these couple of
when
moments.
Is he not the best centre back on the pitch?
There's a couple of moments where I thought, Bournemouth are really going to stick it on us here. This might get a little bit ugly. Gabriel header, Gabriel clearance. Obviously, we still lost. But I thought in terms of like having that captain's armband on him, you know how we've always had these discussions in the past about does he weigh heavy on people?
Yeah.
Feels like he's anti-stripes.
Yeah.
You know?
Of course he has, man.
Yeah.
He deserves to be captain more than Gabriel Jesus.
Jesus does. But that one, is a political thing from Arteta. You know those moves.
Yeah.
You know,
he's won league titles.
Yeah.
We can put him out there and whatever.
Obviously, shout out Thomas Partey as well. I thought Thomas Partey was putting in good performances.
I think Declan Rice was brilliant as well.
Yeah. I thought the midfield actually...
Yeah. Marino as well had some nice moments, but particularly Partey and Rice. I was seeing Partey with like locomotion in midfield and making tackles, and I think Declan Rice, when you go down to 10 men, some of the times he was driving through.
Yeah, it was really helping us.
Like you talk about keeping possession or stringing 4 or 5 passes. Like at least he's like trying to get us up the pitch just through running power and whatnot. But credit to Bournemouth, they had a nice free corner routine. It was a good finish from Christie, and then obviously the penalty. Jakub Kiwior, like I'm a big fan, right? Because I think Jakub Kiwior plays a role.
Yeah.
And there's no excuses for what he did because it was shocking. Yeah, and you can kill him for that. Yeah, but the only thing I would say is I don't know why Jakub Kiwior was playing right centre back.
Yeah.
Like I'm a fan of Jakub Kiwior as a like left back. Like if we need a couple guys are out, we need someone to lock it down. We need to use the squad call, play him at left back, even at left centre back if you have to. But playing him at right centre back, I feel like maybe Arteta could have moved Ben White in, maybe put Calafiori at right back and moved Kiwior. But maybe he didn't want to change it that much because then he's literally moving 3 players in the back line and whatnot. But look, either way, I mean, it's a mistake that can't be justified.
No, it's a terrible ball.
Yeah.
Where those are back to the days of seeing the goalkeeper scramble.
Yeah.
We don't want to be seeing that.
Yeah. And that was it.
And also shout out to unfortunately shout out to Evan Nilsson because that's 2 penalties in a row versus the top 6 at Bournemouth. He's won. For like the Jordan Ayew thing. I'm just gonna get there first.
And they obviously learned not to let him take one.
Tough, but nothing like
and the way Evan Nilsson goes down when Saliba catches him. He's a Portuguese league veteran. Liga NOS vet.
But all this means, all this like frustration and whatever for the loss, it means that we just have to beat Liverpool.
Yeah, which was the case before the game.
Which was the case before the game, but I think it also now
it's even bigger now.
Yeah. And you know what, man? I was about to say that because of our performances for the last 2 games, it means to put a performance into Liverpool. But I was thinking, to be honest, coming into this thing, you know how everybody calls us Stoke or Tony Pulis or Jose Mourinho influence or whatever. I would kind of love it if Arteta lent into that going into Liverpool. If we beat Liverpool 2-0 off a set piece and a scrappy
deflected goal
and defensive structure, rigid. I think it would be
anyhow we win that game. I loved it.
Of course, but I think it'll be equally as fun as putting in obviously a great performance and but everything's on that game now. In terms of like kickstarting the run. This kickstarts the run.
Yeah. It was a must-win before the Bournemouth game, regardless of that result. But it wouldn't have been the end of the world if we'd got a draw.
Yeah. There's nothing else.
It is the end of the world.
Exactly.
We have to win this game.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. There's no mincing words about it.
And I think personally, even with Saliba out, even with Odegaard out, and the potential people we might have out, I think if Saka is fit to start that game, I think we can win that game.
I do too.
But I think if there's no Saka, I think it's hard. Because we spoke about this a lot last year, and I think obviously Liverpool haven't really signed anyone. I think our midfield is better than their midfield. And I think our defence, or at least our defensive structure, is better than Liverpool's defence and defensive structure. But then they have Salah and Diaz. Yeah. Martinelli on his day up against Trent can do what Diaz does.
Yeah.
Right. Havertz can do what Jota does, maybe a bit more, right? But if we don't have Saka, then they're going to have Salah up here, and we're going to have Jesus or Sterling down here. I think that's going to be a massive difference whether we can get Saka in the team or not.
I think to be honest, Arteta deliberately left Saka out of Bournemouth. Thinking
of Bournemouth, I think he deliberately left him out yesterday.
I think it was both.
Yeah,
I think he's thinking I need Saka to be match ready. Not even 100%.
But I think if Arteta thought Saka was okay to play Bournemouth, I think Arteta's aware that like this isn't like a piss take here.
I actually think that Arteta was looking at Sterling and Jesus and those guys and thinking like Saka's, I could push him, but he's not 100, and I don't really want to push him. And this is exactly why I have you guys.
Yeah, true.
And like he's given Sterling a start because he's like, Sterling, this is what I brought you on loan to do.
But I think there had to have been a doubt that Saka would make his injury worse. Or
Yeah. I can 100% because Arteta is that if Saka can play, he plays.
And he needs to play.
But I think whoever was in Arteta's ear or whatever, the voice in the back of Arteta's head was saying, you've bought Sterling. You've bought Jesus so that you don't have to rush Saka back for potentially worse injuries and all this kind of stuff. And obviously, must win before, but now there's no other result.
I think yesterday Saka could have actually played. And I think Arteta was like, would leave him.
If they're saying that he trained today, he could.
Allegedly. Because Arteta said yesterday he hasn't trained. So it's like, but look, that's enough on that. We'll actually move to Liverpool, obviously. They're playing Arsenal on the weekend, but they played Chelsea last weekend. And I think the first thing I got to say is I think we were missing an English talent from our debate last week, because if Cole Palmer's making it into those conversations, I think Curtis Jones.
I hate Curtis Jones.
Should be making it into those, because both of them were on the pitch, and I only really saw one English talent out there.
Let me give Curtis Jones his respect. Curtis Jones played well yesterday. Well, not yesterday, on the weekend.
I think he showed Palmer levels on Sunday.
On that specific case, and I'm not even here to cape for Palmer. Palmer gets. It's good to see Palmer get not abused. That's not what I'm trying to say, but like,
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's good to see.
Bring down a notch.
Not even that, just like if you're going to give him that much praise and credit and best player of the league.
That's how you have to criticize him.
Exactly.
If you're going to call him that, he needs to go to Anfield.
When he's scoring 4 goals and you're saying he's the best in the league and he's the best player in the world. 100%. And like, I don't even necessarily...
That's what I was saying when we had the debate with Saka. It was always, we need to see him in the Champions League. We need to see him do it in the Champions League. We need to see him do it on this stage, on that stage. Like influence games with England and whatnot, but with Cole Palmer, he just kind of gets thrown into these conversations without having to do that.
I don't even think obviously Palmer didn't play his best game yesterday, but I don't know if it's the game to kill him. But that's the price you pay for being the best in the world when maybe you're not the best.
That's I agree with you. I didn't come away from the game thinking Palmer was terrible.
Yeah.
or even that Palmer was the worst Chelsea player.
Exactly.
Because Levi Cole made sure he took that and vindicated me
we'll come
for everything I've said. Yeah. But exactly like you say, if that's how you're going to talk about this guy and that's the conversations you're going to put him in, that's how he needs to be criticized.
Yeah,
and that's
coming away from Manfred.
That's how Foden gets criticized.
Yeah. That's how Saka would get criticized.
Exactly.
But who are we speaking?
But Curtis Jones,
Curtis Jones, man. I just think Curtis Jones is mid. And I hate the fact
and you've been saying
and I've been saying Curtis Jones is mid. Yeah. But I hate the fact that Liverpool fans and the edgy peripheral, this guy should be playing for England people, always pipe up when once in the blue moon. Curtis Jones does this every year for the last 3 years.
Liverpool fans saying he's better than Mainu.
For the last 3 years, Curtis Jones will put in a man of the match performance versus a Tottenham, versus a Chelsea, versus
even a Man United.
Yeah. Whatever team is vying for 4th place, 5th place, Curtis Jones will turn up and
Villa,
boss it.
Yeah.
There's a real player in Curtis Jones.
Yeah, 100%.
And this will be it.
Yep.
For the rest of the season, it will just be like, all right, he's okay.
I've always thought Curtis Jones was all right.
I'm not to say that he's a bad player. I just think that he's nothing more than mid and kind of like...
I think he's a good squad player to have.
He is a good squad player to have if he was Crystal Palace or...
No, I think even at Liverpool, I think look what he's just done. I would love for Mourinho to do that on Sunday.
Give him a chance. Let Mourinho see.
Hopefully.
Give him a chance. But yeah, Curtis Jones, my agenda has been set, man. It's here. I think you're meaty. I think you are meaty, and
I think you run the most agendas on Liverpool players. I don't even think you kill United players like this. With United, you just kill.
I just get shoved with the propaganda.
With Liverpool players, like I said, Van Dijk last week, you came for him.
Yeah. I really dislike Liverpool fans. I really dislike. Well, I can't stand it, man. I actually can't stand it.
Because you were, and I could tell that when we had a conversation before the game about what result we kind of want from this Liverpool Chelsea game. And I could tell that there was emotion in your desperation for Liverpool not to get 3 points.
Bro, I just we know what's gonna happen at the end. Arsenal are the horse that has the long lungs, whatever it is. They're gonna go deep into the race. Yeah, and I think Liverpool fade away. But for now, I'm just pelted with Liverpool stuff and Liverpool hype.
Guys are saying big win for Liverpool because people were saying before that they hadn't really played anyone.
And Liverpool have done very well. They've started the season very well. Slot's getting the things right. Jota going down will be a miss for them, I feel like. I think it was kind of weird how both Arsenal and Liverpool were like losing players.
Yeah.
Alisson's gone out and all this kind of stuff, but like exactly when we would want them to play for each other.
Yeah.
I'm not here to really discredit Liverpool so much. It's just an agenda thing with them. But honestly, the non-biased like football opinion that I have of Liverpool is like they're a good team. They're a good team. We'll see how like deep into the tournament it will go. We'll see how many games can you rely on Curtis Jones. I was looking at Curtis Jones's numbers. He has 8 and 5 goals in his whole Premier League career. Sorry, he has 8 goals, 5 assists.
Yeah.
In his whole Premier League career. And I get it. You'll tell me he's not a goal getter. He's not he has almost 100 caps.
Yeah, I'm not gonna run the Curtis Jones campaign because I don't actually care that, and I just think he's a good squad player. That's it.
Yeah, for
that's
Crystal Palace,
right? That's what you think.
For
I think maybe that's Klopp like doing wonders and showing us, this guy can be a squad player for a team that wins the league, right? Maybe that's just how good Klopp is, but I know you're not gonna back that either, right? but he's been at that level for a while. I think he's decent, right? But regardless of that, I actually think that there's not that much between these two teams.
Is it?
And I was saying to you that I think before the game, it didn't really matter to me what the result was because as much as you were kind of saying that you don't really see Chelsea as a threat or whatever.
I don't see Chelsea as a threat at all.
I don't really see Liverpool as a threat.
I see Liverpool as the like the only other team to care about, like in terms of like than City. Everybody else.
Yeah, but I just don't see Liverpool as a threat for the title, and I could be wrong, and guys might come at me for saying that and whatever. But that game on Sunday specifically, I think Chelsea played pretty well, and I think it's a tough place to go. Last year they lost 4-1 there, and we were talking about Anfield kind of being the litmus test. How many times have us as Arsenal fans thought, yeah, we're in a good place?
You know what?
You go to Anfield, and it is a very, like, in football terms, that's the litmus test of, are you a good team?
Yeah.
Right? Can you go there and do something?
If they didn't have Colwill, they maybe come away with something.
And look, I think they gave a pretty good account of themselves. And before we kill Colwill, there's one player who, the more I see him play, and I rarely see him play because he's just injured, the more I love him, is Lavia.
Yeah.
Lavia is super serious.
But you were saying that he has to be the 6.
Yeah.
Any manager would see that.
Yeah. Because even from what we'd seen at Southampton and stuff, and a couple moments, and that first game they had against Man City, Lavia was balling.
Yeah.
And credit to Maresca as well, because he made the decision to start Reece James and to start Lavia, and I think they both did all right.
Yeah.
Especially Lavia. I mean, the way the ball would go into Lavia, and Lavia would find that out ball, progress the ball forward, left foot, right foot. It was so natural. It was so clean, so smooth.
Enzo's worried. Is that what you're saying?
Enzo's done. Enzo's done. If Maresca wants his team to be serious, Enzo Fernandez can't get in that midfield.
He's just made him assistant captain. He's brought him into the leadership group.
And he benched him for this game. That's another thing that tells me, Maresca's. He knows.
Maresca will say it was because of the Argentina.
Yeah, that's what he'll say.
It was the late flight.
Caicedo went to Ecuador.
That's what he'll say. He'll say it's the late nights, the flights, Argentina, the fans, how they get on him.
Yeah. But look, Lavia, I think Caicedo played well as well. But yeah, I think Lavia is a proper player, man. I think
Caicedo makes me laugh, man. And I was a big Caicedo fan, and obviously my stocks have dipped a bit. Well, he's taking a heavy dent. I'll put it as that, yeah. But he is a good player, and he does have games where he's a good player.
Yeah.
But within every game, Caicedo is ready to clatter 4 or 5 guys.
Yeah. Hatchet, man.
Whistle or no whistle, ball or no ball.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna fly into the next guy. Like this guy besides me, 2 foot. Yeah. Scissor motion comes out together.
But I feel like Caicedo's kind of always had that.
He has. Maybe it's just because I'm watching him more week in, week out, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Bro, he does not stop with the ankles. Your ankles with Caicedo around, they're not safe. They're not safe.
And I think Noni looked good as well.
Noni
was ripping Robertson, but his wing partner, they were telling me this guy's a different player since he joined Chelsea. Jadon Sancho. They were telling me goals and assists, and he's in a good team and a good manager now. Hooked at halftime. Yeah. Stinker and hooked. And another guy that should have been Levi Colwill.
I was telling guys about, the worst thing about the Levi Colwill thing. It's another one of these things. I've been in group chats, guys have been telling me Levi Colwill is top 5. Levi Colwill is this.
Guys have been gassing up Levi Colwill.
And I've been saying, wait.
Shout out Amon, because Amon all season has been calling Colwill a TikToker. Because I think Amon knows. Amon seen 30 centre-backs at Chelsea. Like, he understands what it is. I think he knows. Even that Ellis guy on Filthy, they were about to talk about Colwill and he could be one of the best centre-backs in the league. And he was like, don't say Colwill.
And I always give Colwill his credit. On the ball, Colwill is good.
Nice.
I'll always give Colwill his credit on the ball.
Val Torres.
Yeah, I'll always give Colwill his credit on the ball. He does the things. But Colwill defensively, when you need him to make that defensive IQ play,
win this header.
Yeah. Do this without fouling. Be aggressive without fouling.
I thought it could have been a penalty before on Salah.
It should have been.
Salah leaves him on the floor, gets up.
That's secret. He's chopping. He's running around. He's a headless chicken. And I knew this is Levi Colwill.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Anfield's that place, isn't it? You look nice. You look good. You've done your stuff at Brighton at home and Forest at home and all these games. But now you go to Anfield. Now you're up against some Mo Salah and these big boys in a tough place to go. And let's see how well you stand up.
Yeah, Colwill, man. He's got he's got a lot to prove. He's got a lot to prove to change my mind about who he'll be and who he is as a defender. As I say, nice on the ball.
Yeah.
But that defender for Chelsea,
it's the dog mentality, isn't it? Do you have that? Chelsea, as you say, they've had JT and Carvalho and Desai, all these guys of the past, who have that dog mentality. Gary Cahill, you can even say to a certain extent, Carvalho, put his body on the do you
have that defensive nous? Are you going to be the one to snuff that challenge out? Or are you just going to give away a penalty?
Yeah.
Are you just going to come in, clatter him?
Kick Jones' leg from nowhere. Give the penalty away.
Panic. I don't know. And also one last thing I'll say about Chelsea is the Neto left wing thing, man. I don't like it.
I don't like it.
I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all.
And I actually think Neto did all right.
Yeah, exactly. He's still a very good player from the left wing.
Yeah.
But
he's just a very good player.
Yeah, exactly.
So he can go and play on the left wing and it looks all right. But and I've said this to Armand since the start, and we've had conversations, and me and you have both said that like we like Noni as a player. Yeah. But Neto is better than Madueke on the right. He is.
The form that we're applauding Noni for,
yeah.
If you gave it to Neto, you're winning real games.
Yeah.
Like if Neto's coming into this Liverpool game, having scored in his last couple of games, looking at his left back, thinking, yeah, I can take this guy.
Yeah.
Sorry, whoever he is, thinking I can take this guy. I would probably go with Neto. So 7 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10 that he's going to rip his man.
And it's tough because we literally just said Noni played well.
And Noni is a good player.
He ripped Robertson.
Yeah, Noni is a good player.
Yeah.
Noni will rip very many.
And I don't want to see Noni on the left.
Yeah. But this is the issue that they have.
Yeah.
And I'd rather they honestly let Neto find his form in his most devastating position.
Yeah.
Than do the quote unquote shoehorn thing. But I get it. Sancho had a bad 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So you needed to.
And also like it's hard because as much as like we can sit here and say that we know or we think that Neto is better or he's clear of Noni on the right.
Yeah.
He is the best right winger, but Noni's been playing well.
Noni has been playing well. It'll be unfair.
So it's difficult for Maresca to then go and be like, okay, I'm going to put Neto on this side when Noni's probably in the best form of his Chelsea career.
Yeah. This is just long-term talk, I guess. Yeah. In the sense
it would have been like if Spurs had signed Eze.
Yeah.
And we'll transition to Tottenham now because if they had signed Eze, it would have. What is Ange going to put on midfield? Eze, Kulu, and Maddison. Have Maddison as the deepest line midfielder. Eze and Kulu in front, because that's what Ange did again. He went. Was it Basuma this time?
Yeah, it was Basuma.
Basuma, Maddison, and Kulu.
Yeah,
fair enough. Home game, so a bit different. I said it can't happen in any away game. Home game, but even so, 1-1 at half time, and Ange hooks James Maddison for Pape Sarr. Like he said that afterwards he needs running power, needs energy and whatever. Pape Sarr came.
Second game in a row, pretty much talking about fight and hunger.
Now, I've started here because if Ange is going to make that substitution and decide, okay, I need to pull off one of the 10s to get an 8 in there with more running power, Pape Sarr, right? Who's the 10 that you would think Ange would sub? Kulu. Or Maddison?
Yeah, but Kulu's on a heater.
Well,
that's what they'll tell you.
Let's not do that.
That's what they'll tell you.
It's a heater for Kulu.
Exactly. Yeah.
For Kulu, this is a heater.
For sure.
Kulu's like, he's 1 in 3. So he's on a heater right now, for sure. But even so, that just would not have been last season or...
This time last season, he was the signing of the summer.
He literally was.
Yeah, he literally was.
Yeah, on our list.
He
was the signing of the summer, and guys were putting him in all sorts of Maddison better than Odegaard, Maddison better than this guy.
Yeah.
And now he's the one being hooked at half time for Dejan Kulusevski, who last season was a right winger, but now he's a 10, and he looks better as a 10. I'll give him that.
Yeah,
definitely does look better as a 10. And I think he actually played all right on the weekend. But what does that say for Maddison?
Also,
we were talking about Tuchel and England and stuff, and
the England stuff. We covered that. It's not happening. It's over. But just the fact that Pape Sarr is coming on, doing the running thing and playing the balls. He's playing. He's got the assist, ball through the top. Son.
Yeah.
I think Maddison's time won't be up at Tottenham. There'll always be games where Tottenham will need Maddison, but it would be so ironic if Ange, it's like, the winning formula is with Addison getting spare minutes, Maddison getting like 20-minute change this game.
Yeah.
Change this game for me. Because there's going to be a lot of teams, bro, that are going to run him. I don't necessarily think Guido, Paquetá, and Souček, of course, athletes.
We're gonna get onto it.
I don't necessarily think that, like, if you're losing out that midfield battle on the running power and
on the PFP, you can't win the PFP against Guido.
That's what I'm
Guido
saying.
turns like it's like you said about Amrabat. He turns like it's a 3-point turn.
Yeah.
Guido does a 3-point turn to turn,
and like Souček can get up and down, but still, like,
It's not like
you feel me? So if
yeah.
you feel like you're losing a running power battle, to that midfield, man,
and you've already put Basuma in there ahead of Bentancur, who presumably has
that's what you've got
more
in there
running
for.
power, more PMP. I think that's not a good look for Maddison.
Yeah.
Like, you've now fallen down to a point where Kulusevski's above you to play in that role. So now it's between Maddison and Bergvall to get rotation 10 minutes.
But Madders will be back. The thing is, Madders will do what he does. Purple patches.
Yeah.
There'll be someone will go down. Kulu doesn't stay fit forever.
Yeah.
Someone will go down. Madders will come in, get a goal, get an assist, and then it'll be the Madders purple patch, and we'll be saying, "Oh yeah, this is what we're missing." But we know these up and downs, these dips and forms. This is why we kind of been saying that we think Tottenham will be his level. But it still would be so ironic if Ange found the winning formula of things like my long-term winning formula. Involves
Tottenham go on a run again without Maddison.
Bench minutes from Madders, or Madders coming on to change the game. We give Madders the super sub
and
role.
Tottenham start getting up the table. And it'd be mad.
Mad. But West Ham.
I remember after they played Chelsea in what was also a 12:30 game. I saw you later that day, and I could not tell you like just how bad West Ham were in that game. And this game against Tottenham was probably a carbon copy.
You know, it's the second half. That 45 minutes in the second half. I don't know how low.
I forget about 45. What did Tottenham score? 3 goals in like 10 minutes or something.
I don't know how low. When West Ham went 1-0 up, I thought, okay.
12:30.
West Ham of old would make this a very interesting game.
Moyes.
I always knew Tottenham was going to get one back. I always knew the 1-0 scoreline was never going to be enough. But I thought I could see a 2-1, 2-2, whatever.
If it was Moyes, a 1-0 could have. But, yeah.
But the way West Ham's heads go down when they concede one, and the spacing behind, and the nervousness at the back.
Bro, it's the spacing. It's the spacing. Like, how Pepe and Sarr can get the ball in have that much time on the ball. He can look at Son, look down at the ball, look at Son, look down at the ball, play the pass. Son's still onside.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
And I saw someone say Todibo is getting sold by Son stepovers in 2024.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like, I don't know, Lopetegui just... at the start, that first half, it was very kind of like structured from West Ham. And it was like, we're going to sit in these 2 banks of 4 and whatever, hit on the counter, they obviously get their goal. But in the second half, I don't know why he went away from that or why he tried to... But Tottenham would just literally slice through them like butter.
Yeah, West Ham. This is my point. It's what I was telling you before about like managers who are on the chopping block or who are in trouble. Yeah, because I think it's damning for Lopetegui if you should be going into half times 1-0 up, and this is when you're losing the game. This is when you're losing the team. This is when the team don't understand the instructions. This is when things are a bit muddled and confused. Like, these are the games where it's like, you know, if it's 2-0 down and West Ham can't turn it around and it ends 4-0, you know, that one is more understandable to me than the ones where we're thinking that West Ham should be coming in with a lead and away, making it a real, like, a London derby. And they all say that these teams have needle.
They've gone 1-0 up and lost 4-1.
Yeah.
Like,
those are the damning. That's the worrying stuff. When it's like, you might get it right for the first 20 minutes, but the team don't trust you.
Yeah.
For 90, or they don't understand your full sort of program for 90 minutes.
One guy who did play well was Kudus.
Yeah.
And then got sent off.
And the sending off was
petulant. Petulant. There was 4 red card offences in there. I don't know how the ref only gave him a yellow at the start. He slaps Van der Ven in the face. He then goes and slaps Pape Sarr in the face. He could have been sent off for the challenge because he kicks Van der Ven in the back twice.
The pushing people in the face is too funny because he's not aimed for the chest. It's not even that one where he's aimed for the chest.
Put his whole
palm. It's like
Pape
sometimes they aim for the chest and it slips. You know, player doesn't judge the height of a player correctly or whatever. No, Kudus has shoved 2 people
on your face
in the face and told VAR, "Nah, it's not."
But he actually played like he was probably West Ham's best player, and actually played all right during the game. But both these teams, which you wanted to talk a bit about managers and their their struggles. Could there be a first casualty even by the time we pod next week?
Yeah.
West Ham have got Man United on the weekend.
Was it?
At West Ham.
I'll know Lopetegui's serious if he drops Guido Rodriguez. I know he might have a chance.
He's not going to drop him, bro.
I know he might have a chance of survival.
Guido was the guy who got hooked after half an hour against Chelsea, but he's still in the team. Guido is Lopetegui's guy, right? And there's things that I see when a press is put onto West Ham and the ball goes into Guido, he can find an out ball.
Yeah.
Right? So I know that's why Lopetegui's bought him and said, yeah, Ward-Prowse, you can go, and brought in Carlos Soler and these guys that he thinks are press resistant in this league. But I agree with you. Guido has to be dropped. Has to.
I was looking at,
but
Edson.
He won't be. I really don't think.
I was looking at Edson Alvarez, who I didn't think the world of Edson Alvarez. Yeah, but I thought he's competent.
He's all right. Yeah.
I was like, how many more mistakes does Guido have to make for Edson Alvarez to get a run of games here? And if Guido starts again next week and Edson's on the bench, and Edson just came last year, it's not even like Edson's burnt out.
Under Lopetegui, Alvarez has been terrible.
It's looking. West Ham will be fine. It's not even like the world is over for West Ham, but it's looking like they're going to severely.
If they don't beat Man United, or if they lose,
severely underperform expectations. The ones where you think you're going to jump from 8th to 6th, and you end up fighting for 12th.
Yeah,
you know, like just
because they've got good individual quality.
Yeah, Bowen will do the things. Kudus will do the things. Paquetá will do the things.
But I think they need to win that game. And on the flip side, Tottenham play Palace. And you wanted to talk about Glasner. That's at Selhurst Park.
I didn't see.
But I have a feeling
Palace. This is when the rot starts.
I have a strange feeling that something could happen.
This is when the rot stops. This is Barclays.
Yo, you don't want to go to Selhurst Park when they're down and the crowd are like, yo, we need to win this game. Selhurst Park's a tough place to go at the best of times. Yeah, you don't want to go there in this situation.
Wait, what times they kick off?
But it's 2:00 on Sunday.
Okay.
But
that used to be Zaha time.
And Tottenham play on Thursday as well, Europa League, right? But it's only gonna be what I think it's gonna be if Glasner can motivate this team, right? Because this team, they played on Monday and they looked pretty bad. Yeah, and they didn't look like they had a lot of kind of confidence or belief in what was going on, right? So if they come on that same thing, Tottenham will probably take them apart. But if Glasner this week can get those 11 players that go out and start on that pitch to run and fight and do what they can for him, knowing that, yo, if we lose this game, Glasner's probably gone.
Yeah.
If he can motivate them to do that, Selhurst Park can rise. Eddie can score his first goal. I know Eddie wants to score against Tottenham.
I can see a script nonetheless, because that's, first of all, it's kind of Tottenham's history. But definitely, the rot has to stop somewhere for Glasner, but he is in trouble.
Yeah.
Like, make no bones about it.
If they lose at home to Tottenham, that's going to be, 9 games now, no wins.
Yeah. Steve Parish and those guys have said we still have enough quality and have put enough money in this squad.
Yep.
But we shouldn't even be languishing where we are.
No, not at all.
And I don't know what else to say for Crystal Palace, bro. Like, I think I think Oliver Glasner actually does have players and potential formations and stuff at his disposal.
You know what you're saying about Lopetegui and Guido?
Yeah.
Glasner and Kamada.
Let it go.
Enough's enough now. I'm done with it. Yeah. Another Kamada stinker on Monday. We've spoken off air about Kamada, yeah. Take him out.
Let it go.
Take him out. Wharton's being benched. Lerma's being benched. All these guys, Mateta's being benched, and Kamada's no, stop it now.
Yeah, and Eze as well. To be fair, he has to just pull up his socks.
Eze played pretty well on Monday.
No, I know.
Like he had a couple shots, hit the bar.
He'll always be that guy, but he has to pull up his socks in the sense of like, all right, performances are good, but your team needs you now to deliver.
Palace, I think they've scored like 2 goals or something, 3 goals or something.
Deliver.
And the script could have something for Eze on Sunday.
Should have bought me.
The script could have something.
Scripts matters.
Kulu.
Talk about PMP in midfield. Matters can't track back as it glides past him.
But if Kamada's on the team sheet, it's the same thing.
It's long
with Lopetegui and Guido. So
it's long.
The last game that we're going to talk about this week Sorry to my United fans. I know you guys did win this weekend, but I mean it was pretty dry. There's not really much to say on that. So if you guys win a big game, we'll talk about you lot. But but this was Brentford at home. So, but Fulham versus Aston Villa. And I had this down anyway, but after Villa's winning the Champions League last night, I felt like we needed to give them some time because Emery has them cooking. We've said this before, but it's different now. Like Fulham always a tough place to. I've said this many a time on this podcast.
Who was the other manager? Marco Silva just humbled.
Well, they went to Etihad last week. And should have got something. They beat Newcastle 3-1.
When we were saying that
Eddie Howe,
this has to stop.
Yeah,
Marco will figure you out.
Yeah, because Newcastle weren't playing well. And I was like, Fulham's that place that you go to. If you're not on your shit, Marco Silva will find you out.
Yeah, if you're not on P's and Q's.
So yeah, I've been saying Fulham's a tough place to go. I'm not looking forward to when Arsenal have to go there.
Yeah. Villa
went there. They went 1-0 down, and I thought, yeah, this is about right. Like Marco Silva, he's come. He's got the block here, move out, shuffle, system, right?
Portuguese.
And I thought that, yeah, exactly. And I thought that might be it. But Villa come back, man. Morgan Rogers deflected goal, and then Ollie Watkins, and then obviously the sending off, and it's done after that. But that combined with the fact that Villa are top of the Champions League table, 36 teams, they're the only team currently with 9 points. They haven't conceded a goal in the Champions League.
First time in however many years, man. And they played some tough opponents as well.
What they're doing what they're doing in the Premier League is very impressive. But what they're doing in the Champions League is, and we've said this, Emery, then they're with a manager. It's not like Eddie Howe, who I still think Eddie Howe's a good coach,
manager. Yeah,
but there's not really any European experience there. He probably, from what I saw of Newcastle last year, they played every game the same way that they would have played their Premier League games and stuff. With Emery, he's a coach who's been there. He's won the Europa League. He's a Europa League veteran, won it numerous times. He will adjust the game plan, sort things out. And Bologna, even though it was at home, I was thinking, because Bayern Munich, the crowd's going to be up. It's one that, like I said to you, we've said from time ago that Villa can win that game,
one,
right?
Yeah.
The Bologna one, I was looking at and thinking, I know they're at home, but this is in some ways more of a test because
you could drop points.
Yeah, you might not be so aware. You might not be so up for it. The fans might not be so up for it. And tactically, Emery's going to have to get it right because Bologna will come with something.
I think it's like an interesting battle between the Portuguese system man and the Spanish psychopath. Like the psychopathy of these Spanish managers. I think this is what Emery sort of lives for.
Yeah.
To study, to watch film, to watch tape, to dissect, to speak to Pau Torres. This is the ball.
Yeah.
This is the ball.
And having said that, Andreas Pereira's missed penalty was a massive moment.
Yeah.
Because if he does score that, they could let Fulham go 2-1 up, and then Marco Silva's Portuguese system's back above that. So
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like it's an even battle.
Yeah.
Because the system could win.
Yeah.
But as you say, because obviously they won, and to give Villa his credit, we can say, look, Emery studied. He knew in game, I need to do this now.
Yeah.
Marco's looking to do this. I need to do this or this. To press the pace. To set the agenda.
And vice versa.
Exactly.
Right. Marco's always, okay, Pau Torres is doing this now. So
it's good to see these managers face off in the league, but I agree with you, man. Marco Silva will get his credit from us, and there'll be big wins for Fulham to celebrate later. But Emery, man, how he started the season, like I didn't really think Villa were gonna fall away. But it's kind of good. He's like, let it be known.
Yeah.
We're not falling away.
Yeah.
We're not some joke. We're not some joke team that had one good run, made it to the top 4 once.
Yeah.
I'm here to push deep into both competitions. I'm seeing Duran is going on international break and all of this kind of stuff.
He scored yesterday.
Yeah. I've got serious players who I'm gonna get the best out.
And that's credit to his squad building.
Yeah.
100%.
100%.
But similarly to Chelsea going to Anfield, I was looking at that Fulham game and thinking, this is a test for Villa. Like, I'll be looking at this game and I watched that game, and it was very like, it was one of those games where if things go right for Fulham, they win the game.
Right? That's what was happening for Marco.
Yeah. But obviously things didn't. Emi Martinez makes the save. He does his celebration and whatever from the penalty. And Watkins with a great header. He's on a real heater.
He's on a heater.
Yeah, not Kulu's heater. He's on a real heater. But yeah, shout out Villa. What they're doing in the Champions League is mad as well. I think their next game might be Juve away.
Juve just lost.
Because Villa can't keep winning in the Champions League. Like,
that's a draw.
As much as we praised
Douglas Luiz.
Yeah, bro, come on, man. If Villa go and win like 7 of 8, that'd be ridiculous.
Villa, I was saying, I think they were saying on commentary actually, like, for example, if Villa were to win next week, even Villa right now, obviously top 8 go through automatically. If Villa win next week and have 12 points.
Yeah, from 12.
That
could be it.
Exactly. If they just win their home games from that point onwards or whatever, even like have a pretty good record at home, they will probably sneak a position, an unthought about position in the top 8, leaving like, obviously, I'm not worried about Arsenal, but like if Villa get their top 8, one of your favourites in the other league is playing an extra game. Yeah. He's in a knockout,
Well, AC Milan, I think, have won 1 and lost 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bayern obviously playing tonight.
Yeah, Madrid only have 6.
They've already taken their loss to Villa. So if Villa do beat Juve could be another. Yeah, it's scary. It's scary. It's scary. But we'll move on. MVPs and rookies of the week. And I will go first on this one this week because my guy, well, I say my guy, maybe that's a bit shameless, but my guy, Jason Tatum.
I knew you was going to say Jason Tatum.
Because I was with Jason Tatum, then he kind of let me down, but then I kind of was like, you know what?
Stick with him.
Stick with him, but he let me down because he didn't win the chip the way I thought he would win the chip.
Yeah.
Right.
He did the team way.
Yeah, but when I moved past that and I got past that, I was like, I don't think it really matters. Like, he won his chip. So at the end of the day, I don't really care. And the stats came out and it was like in the playoffs, most points and most assists. And I was like, maybe I was hating on this guy too much. But
you're drinking the Kool-Aid.
No. There's a lot of Jason Tatum haters out there. You send me a lot of stuff on Twitter about guys hating on Jason Tatum. And I never fuck with it because I like Jason Tatum. I think Jason Tatum's a good guy. And I think seeing him with his ring and him saying, to the best fans in the world, let's do it again. Look, shout out Jason Tatum.
I shout Jason Tatum.
It was good to see you get your ring.
I shout Jason Tatum. Obviously for the ring, it makes him a made man. But I think Jason Tatum has come back like almost still with a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah. Did you see the shots he was hitting yesterday?
And I like that.
Come on.
I like that.
Exactly. How can you not like that?
I like the fact
I don't understand why he gets the hate he gets.
I like the fact that Jason Tatum is not ready to rest on his laurels with this one chip. It feels like he's going to go all out for the MVP back-to-back 2 times. He's looking to cement his legacy type of thing. He's got that dog in him. Yep. And I agree. There is too much Jason Tatum hate. He's just a funny guy to hate on. That's the problem. But I think Jason Tatum is going to be on go mode all year. And I agree. Come out, show the league, match day 1. Oh, yeah. All this talk. When it comes to basketball, I do this. I do this. And Jason Tatum's got a very deep bag. And I appreciate that he can come out.
He's been working on his 3 all summer.
Yeah. I appreciate that Jason Tatum can definitely come out and tell you to like, yo, shut the fuck up. Yeah. I'm going to sink this.
Everyone in the gym today called me champ. I loved it.
Nah, he gets a good MVP. To keep it on the NBA, LeBron will have to get an MVP from me, and Bronny will have to get an MVP from me. Just for it, like the more I think about it, I sometimes I play it down like, how nuts is it?
See the clip of them warming up together.
Yeah, I was like, sometimes I'm like, oh, how nuts is it that LeBron's playing with his son? Of course, that's something. Nuts. But it's
nuts.
It's nuts.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to be on a professional level at the highest level.
Across any sport. I don't think
at the highest basketball, at the highest level you can get to.
Yeah.
And they won the game, and JJ's looking all right as a coach, and
Well, we'll hold off on the JJ stuff.
We'll see what happens. Hold off. I'm ready to get carried away.
I play with a warning ball. I don't know about that one.
I was listening to Chuck and the NBA guys, and they were like, "Yeah, AD's gonna have to play like this just to get 9th, like, just for the Lakers to get 9th." But no, I'll give LeBron an MVP because it's a ridiculous moment to play with your son. Like
in the
NBA
for the Lakers,
and I'll give Joe Mazzulla as well.
Yeah, I had Joe Mazzulla
just for being Joe Mazzulla.
Yeah, some of those things you've been sending me on Twitter, I love that stuff. That one where he talks to the media and he's like, well, "It's just words. You've not got a weapon. You're not gonna shoot me or kill me, or it's just words." And
Joe Mazzulla,
in 40 years' time, none of you will be invited to my funeral.
What's it like having a target on your back? Target on my back? I want it right between my forehead. Put the target right between my forehead. Run it right between the eyes.
He was like, pressure? That's just a word. No one puts more pressure. He was like, it's not like we're heart surgeons or we're police officers or I coach basketball for a living.
Yeah, Mazula's cracked.
But I rated it. So yeah, he gets an MVP.
NFL, I'll give Lamar Jackson an MVP for me. He's killing these guys. He's like, I'd give Lamar Jackson the same sort of praise that I'd give sort of Saka, in the sense of like, he's killing it. All he needs is a ring, a chip to really make him a made man. They love to pit him against every other person that's had 1 or 2 good years. But every time he comes up against a supposed better player than him, he kills it. 5 touchdowns, X, Y, and Z. He kills it. So I got to give Lamar Jackson a lot of love for that. And there was one other MVP I had on my mind.
Vinny.
Yeah, Vinny. Mr. Ballon d'Or. You might as well just call him Mr. Ballon d'Or. Do you think Rodri will win it or can win it? Or do you think... I asked you this last time, innit?
Yeah, I said I think Rodri should win it.
I said, do you think they count this stuff? Like, this technically shouldn't count for Vinny.
Yeah. You were saying,
It's next week, the Ballon d'Or. Like, this stuff should count for the 20.
But it will count.
But But you know, like, if you're going into Ballon d'Or with this form,
my whole thing was just the Euros. I think the Euros is such a massive thing. If Rodri hadn't won that, I would say Vinny or Vinny. I think the Euros is a big thing. Whenever there's a Ballon d'Or in the year of an international tournament, I think that holds a lot of weight.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it depends on Messi and Ronaldo kind of skewed. It depends on what the Ballon d'Or is measured on.
I think Vinny's more likely to win it, though.
I think Vinny, even with Rodri being who he is still the best, like, quote-unquote player. Rodri's the most winningest football player. If you have Rodri on your team, you're probably going to win that game. But
I mean, maybe you can say the same thing for Vinny.
Yeah. But maybe there is an attacker bias for sure. And I think in football,
that's why I think he's more likely. And I think with the Ballon d'Or, there is an attack.
But the way you would like, why I call Vinny the best footballer is because the way Vinny dices up some of these guys.
Yeah, but you're never gonna see Rodri.
That's the thing, and that's the bias.
Like Vinny will do that and win his team games, and that's what I'm saying. You can watch Vinny and say, if you got Vinny on your team, you're probably gonna win today.
100%. Yeah.
But
they should make another
that slice and dice from Vinny and move and jinky majinky and whatever. The equivalent for Rodri is the passes we see Rodri play through the lines.
But this is where Rodri doesn't benefit. Is the heritage is on Vinny's side.
Yeah.
When you think of Ballon d'Or and you see Ronaldinho,
Rivaldo,
you see all these. That's what we think we're rewarding. Is the guy who makes us go. Zidane. Wow. I can't believe it. And Rodri does it to a different degree.
That's what I'm saying. The attacker bias. Yeah.
But I think it's there for a reason. Because
yeah.
Like at the end of
those are the kind of players that make you want to watch.
Yeah. We not clown Rodri, but like we get onto Rodri all the time for this. Just gonna walk onto this and crash this into the back of the net type of thing. Yeah. And like, you know, Vinny's quote unquote playing real football.
Yeah.
Put through a guy's legs. But that's just, I guess, maybe some nostalgia stuff. But yeah, I think Vinny, man, he is a different level right now. He's playing on a different level. Mbappe came to the club. Vinny's still on a different level.
Yeah.
You know, he deserves a lot of credit.
And rookies. My first rookie, I've got Russell Martin. We didn't talk about Southampton versus Leicester, but that is why Southampton will go down.
100 Ramsdale.
You're 2-0 up at home to a relegation rival.
Every time
if you were 2-0 up at home to Fulham and you lost, I would say that's why you're going to go down.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's Leicester, that's a direct 6-pointer. You need to take these 3 points.
I didn't watch the game, but I was looking at the results and it was like 2-0 at half time. And I was like, this could win for Southampton. I literally had already banked it. I was like, there's no way they can lose 2-0 up versus a title rival. Surely the manager will have some cojones. To see that the match ended up 3-2.
90 plus 6.
Yeah.
Ramsdale, flappy hand.
These are the telltale signs, kind of like how last season I was seeing Sheffield United left backs not see the ball out all the way versus Manchester City. You like these are the
trustees.
The telltale signs that you just don't have it in this 100%. League. Like the margins, if you don't have the understanding of these margins, you won't make it.
Yep.
And I'll give Ramsdale, not because of the performance or whatever, but just the decision again to go to Southampton. Bro, there were a lot of Jose Sarr just got his first appearance at Wolves. He just got shut. You could have competed with any of those guys.
Yep.
In any of these other clubs. You know, I'm sure you're a better goalkeeper than Sells. You know, Sales is doing all right. Sales is doing all right. Sales is doing all right.
Yeah.
But you could have fought with him for that position.
Yeah.
And got an England shirt, and now you're shipping 3 goals a game, 2 goals a game minimum.
Dean Henderson, we saw what he did on Monday night. And I've got Trossard as well.
Yeah. Trossard deserves one. I said I'd have to give Saliba one just to make it even between him and Van Dijk, because I would have given Van Dijk. If Van Dijk got a red card the same way, I'd be here to give Van Dijk a...
I'm not going to give Saliba one just because I think it's, like I said, I think it's more Trossard to blame for that.
No, 100%. I agree with
you
that.
need to be
exactly.
consistent.
I just need to be a little bit consistent on this, on the sake that if Van Dijk gets
a red card, the biggest problem of it all is Saliba now
misses Liverpool. Yeah. And I don't want to give Arteta a rookie of the day, but I forgot to mention I didn't like the substitute. Even though we were down to 10 men, I didn't necessarily like the substitutions at Bournemouth. I didn't necessarily like keeping Trossard on, taking Sterling off. I could kind of understand him and see what he was trying to do with it. But much like I was saying, how we couldn't keep the ball for 5 minutes or whatever.
I think the starting lineup was more something that I was like,
problematic.
The Rice, Partey, Marino thing. I'm like, you're like embellishing this haram ball too much now. Like, just
Mikel deserves some, like, we give him a lot of praise. Obviously, we're both in his corner, all this kind of stuff. But for Bournemouth specifically, like, not everything is also just because the red card was.
Yeah, but it's tough as well, because if it was 11 to beat 11,
who'd win the game? I understand.
We both agree that we probably win the game.
But
so
as well, just to be consistent on it, I have something for him. I don't know if it's a full-on rookie of the week, but yeah, it didn't.
I don't want to see that midfield again. Really, I think that is like, I know we've changed from the Arsenal we were before, but we still need some Wenger elements of like, we play some nice football and put Wanyeri in there with Rice and Partey, or the Rice, Partey and Marino is...
Yeah, it's a bit too much. Yeah, it's a bit too much. I agree with that.
But like I said, that's almost... I think, like you sometimes say, break glass in case of emergency and whatever. I think that he almost felt like he had to do that. If he didn't play Wanyeri, there was no other midfield to pick from. So.
Yeah. I'm sure Arteta thought minutes, legs, Liverpool next, Shakhtar next.
Yeah,
like,
give Marino some time in there.
But
yeah, look, I think that's it from us. Thank you guys for listening. And next week, after some big fixtures next weekend, Arsenal versus Liverpool mainly, we might, if we lose that game, I might skip the pod.
It's crisis.
Yeah, we might not. You might not have a pod.
That's crisis talk. That's crisis talk.
For real. But thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next week. Peace.